Welcome to Sarah Pilates. For today's 10-minute core workout, you'll need a Pilates ball and a set of light dumbbells. Let's get to it. You'll start with the Pilates ball just underneath the small of your low back, facing the front of your mat. Have your feet hip-width distance apart and hinge backwards just until you feel the small of your low back resting on that Pilates ball. We're going to find a C-curve shape to start. So think about scooping through your tailbone all the way up to the sky like you're cradling a big beach ball on your belly, and you're making that indentation for the ball, all right? Fingertips are going to start by resting and really pressing into your mat. Exhale, draw your toes up, finding that tabletop position. Really use your hands to allow you to get in that tabletop position to maintain that C-curve shape. Now from here, fingertips can rest. We're going to find alternating toe taps. Exhaling as you draw your toes back to tabletop and inhaling as you drop those toes down. Now, once your body gets used to this position and you can squeeze the area between your navel and your tailbone, you can draw those fingertips up just so they're parallel to the ground. For extra spice, you can find biceps just in line with your ears. All right, we are gonna hold that tabletop position in 5, in 4, hold to tabletop in 3, in 2, and 1. Hold to tabletop. Fingertips can be down here, they can be parallel or up by your ears. Extend left toes, extend right toes, draw back to tabletop, extend, extend, tabletop, tabletop, extend, extend, and tabletop, tabletop. Let's hold those toes extended in 3, in 2, and 1. Toes extended. Inhale, draw them apart. Exhale, squeeze together. Inhale, draw them apart. Exhale, squeeze together. Apart and together. Maybe you hinge backwards, finding that low core. Let's hold those toes together in 3, in 2, and 1. Toes are together, warming up the shoulders here. Draw one set of fingertips up, the opposite down, and switch, and switch, and switch. Can those toes come up just a little higher? Let's hold fingertips up overhead in 3, in 2, and 1. Fingertips up overhead. You can hold behind the knees. Round yourself over. Good job. All right, we're going to find ourselves right back onto that Pilates ball, and we're going to add the weights on this time. So hinging backwards, we'll find that C-curve position one more time. Hands can rest on the weights to start, and you can press onto your dumbbells, drawing those toes into your tabletop position. Now from here, your legs will stay exactly as they are, maintaining that C-curve shape. We've got that big beach ball resting on top of us. You can draw those arms to 90 degrees, and then palms can face up. Gonna inhale, extend arms out. Exhale, squeeze the dumbbells to your knees. Legs stay the same just for now, and we're just focusing on finding some lateral shoulder mobility here. Opening as you inhale and exhaling, drawing the dumbbell down. Finding that isometric hold with your core. Legs are supporting you here. Let's add on. This time, as you draw the weights out, extend your toes. Woo, and then squeeze everything together, little crunch. Extend everything out. Squeeze, draw your knees into your chest. Feeling that extension and feeling that flexion of the spine. Full body workout here. Let's hold those knees into your chest in 3, in 2, and 1. Knees are into your chest here. All right, hinge backwards or finding some bicep curls. You've got your tabletop position with your legs, drawing your fingertips to your shoulders. Let's hold those arms to 90 in 3, in 2, arms to 90 degrees in 1, arms to 90, extend toes, back to tabletop, extend the toes, back to tabletop, extend the toes. Let's hold them out in 3, in 2, last variation, and 1. Little punches with the arms. You're here for 5. You're here for 4. For 3, roll those shoulders down your back for 2. And 1, drop the weights, legs to tabletop, round yourself over. Woo. Good job. All right, we're going to add on from here. We'll come into a tabletop position. We'll still use your weights, and we're also going to use the Pilates ball. So you can spin yourself off to the side. And I'm going to tuck the ball just behind my right knee. And then I'm going to have the weight in my left hand here to start. So finding a tabletop position, shoulders over your wrists, squeezing your core, no arching of that low back, hips directly over your knees. Let's start with that leg to start. So We'll find a beautiful hamstring curl, lifting up, and then dropping knee, just hovering over the mat. Exhale, lifting up, being mindful that core is not arching your lower spine, and then lifting up. Whew. From here, we can add the arm. So extending that arm in, and then drawing that elbow to your side. Extending out, drawing elbow by your side, getting a nice full body workout here, feeling the arms and then feeling that core. Let's hold that leg up nice and high in 3, in 2, and 1. You've got that leg up nice and high, stabilizing in the core, drawing that elbow back. Woo! Inhale, drawing forward. Left elbow comes back. Inhale, drawing forward. Let's hold that elbow out in 3, in 2, and 1. Hold that elbow back, little pulses. Little up an inch, little down. You're here for 5. For 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Extend, drop down onto your hands and knees, push back, shell pose. We're going to keep the ball underneath your right knee, and left hand can rest here on the mat. Going to hover the left knee off of the mat, and then we'll find a nice tuck, drawing that knee into your nose, whoo, and then finding that ball right underneath. Drawing that knee to your nose and back into your tabletop position. Nice. All right, from here, we can add on, drawing in, exhale, coming out. Maybe those left toes extend all the way. Whew. Drawing that knee in, extend out. Left toes come up, finding that push up here. Knee to your nose, finding that tabletop, left toes up, dropping down to a push up. Core supporting you the entire time. Let's hold that knee to your nose in 3, in 2, and 1. Knee is to your nose, little pulses, rounding that spine. You're here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Dropping down onto that knee. Left knee comes to the mat. Exhale, push yourself back. Ooh. All right, we're going to switch sides. You've got the ball behind your left knee this time. We can transfer that dumbbell over to the right side. Restabilizing in your tabletop position. Fingertips just ahead of your shoulders. Wrists underneath your shoulders. Hips over your knees. All right, let's start with just the knee. You're going to extend that left foot up nice and high to the sky, squeezing into your core. Inhale, dropping knee down to the mat. Exhale, squeezing it up. And then inhale, dropping it down. Let's add on here with the dumbbell. As you extend hand out, that foot comes up to the sky. Woo, full extension, elbow by your side. So finding a nice bend, a nice stretch, that core working nice and hard to stabilize both of these motions. Let's hold left foot up to the sky in 5, in 4, left foot up in 3, 2, and 1. Left foot up is up nice and high, squeezing that core. Just finding that right elbow to the side and full extension out. Whew. Let's do 3 more just like that. You're going to hold that elbow in 5, in 4, hold that elbow to 90 in 3, in 2, and 1. Little pulses, little up an inch, little down. You're here for 5, for 4, for 3. Squeeze that core for 2, and 1. Extend fingertips out, weight comes down, knee comes down, press back, little shell pose. Let's take the ball out from underneath the back of your knee and then put it underneath your knee onto the mat. All right, let's find that tabletop position, tucking those right toes. From here, find that rounding of your spine. Knee comes to your nose and right back to tabletop. Exhale, knee to nose, rounding your spine, feeling those left obliques, back to tabletop. Exhale like that 1 more time. This time in tabletop, right toes come out. So you're drawing that knee to your nose, rounding, finding tabletop, lifting those toes up, and finding that push up. Knee to your nose, round, 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 back to tabletop, lift those right toes, dropping it into that push up. Let's hold that knee to your nose in 5, in 4, finding those pulses in 3, in 2, and 1. Really round that spine. You're here for 5, you're here for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Dropping onto your knees, pushing back, quick shell pose here. We've got time for 1 more core move here, friends. You're going to find the ball in your hands, elbows out nice and wide, round your spine all the way down. All right, let's draw those legs up into a tabletop position. And then we can find those arms pressing up overhead, squeezing your shoulders. Exhale, you're drawing those hands over your shins. Inhale, everything extends out. Exhale, drawing those hands over your shins. Ooh, big inhale, big stretch. Whew. Let's hold those hands over your shins in 3, in 2, and 1. Hands are over the shins. Woo, you're pulsing here to finish. Pressing, squeezing. You're here for 5. You're here for 4. For 3, big stretch in 2, and 1, nice big stretch up overhead. Ooh, you can bring your knees into your chest. Ball can come in between your thighs. Give yourself a nice round here. Nice big hug, feeling the fruits of your labor. Ooh, good job, friends. Thank you for working out with me. 10 minutes done and dusted. See you again next time.